Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Everyone all set, cocked, locked? Here we go. You dialed set correctly to USAPrepares.com. And we're delighted you're here. We broadcast 2 hours from high atop the Missouri Ozark Mountains, 5 days a week, 9 a.m. Central through 11 Central. And if you'd like to call us, we'll pay for the call. I've got the call screen right in front of me. 866-582-9933. 866-582-9933. Let's see. Oh, there's a link to all of your instructors on the website, usaprepares.com. Nathan is engineering the broadcast in Minnesota. Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us. Welcome, Rick.
Hi. Good morning.
Hey, Rick.
Stands with a fist. That's it, man.
Yeah, speaking of standing with a fist, I'd like to share this story with you before we get into today's science questions. Got some really interesting questions that probably we can't answer, Rick, but the state of Pennsylvania State Police have this SUV that has a license plate scanners, has license plate scanners attached to it. And typically, I've seen one in Virginia, less than a year ago, I'd say, riding around a Walmart parking lot. 6 cameras on the roof, cameras in each corner of the vehicle. And what they do is they ride around parking lots, and this thing can see 6 different directions simultaneously. It's got an onboard computer that reads the has optical recognition or a recognition of these license plates, enters them into the computer to find out, well, is it out of state? Is it an expired tag? You know, what's with that vehicle based on the license plate? Well, what's bad about this is this SUV had Google Maps affixed to the side. So it appeared to be a Google Street View vehicle. In fact, it was not. It was a Pennsylvania State Police vehicle riding around searching for license tags or license plates that they could, maybe be interested in people who were in those vehicles, like those from out of state. Pull them over, search the vehicles, look for guns, look for contraband, because when you're out of state, it's really hard to fight the police. And when they give you a summons, you have to appear in court. And if it were me, I'd have to go 1,100 miles or so to go to Pennsylvania from Missouri if I happen to be pulled over by one of these state police vehicles. Here's the point. The point is they are masquerading this vehicle as a Google Street View vehicle. That's what the impression is, but it's not. It absolutely is not. It is a vehicle that is being used to scan license plates. Now, I have a thought about what we should do about those kinds of things. I think that the head of the Pennsylvania State Police should be arrested. And I think that the chiefs within the state police 4 levels down, the heads 4 levels down, should all be arrested as well for breach of the public trust, deception, and illegally obtaining funds from the villagers. Arrest them and try them. Now, of course, how do you try them in a court that they own, right? I guess we're going to have to form our own courts and try them. But this is absolutely out of control. Breach of the public trust is totally unacceptable. And that's where we are, Rick, today. We have reached a point in time where we don't believe the Democrat Party. We don't believe.
It's even worse. In Grants Pass, Oregon, we're a very small town. They publish us at 35,000 people. That's the county. And, so we're small. We're a small town. And they were doing exercises with an NRAP in our town with SWAT near a bank, near Walmart, checking how they would practice taking over a crowd that would be, it was a practice exercise for a bank that defaulted that was then being mobbed by citizens as a exercise. That was yesterday. And today, I don't get what's happening, but if my radar says that they're practicing for bank failure, what do they know? And what do they know that I'm guessing? And it gets worse. There's a friend of mine. He works animal control. He would not join when he retired as a detective from L.A. He wouldn't join the police force up here because it's corrupt. And so he went into animal control. And he is about to participate in a FEMA exercise. And he'll tell me what that's about once he goes through the exercise. And this is an animal control guy. Now, I don't get it, but all the signs around me are saying something terrible is about to happen. And really, I was reading in this paper about the fact that Russia wants to go to war against the American corporation, but they don't want to go to war against Americans. And that sounds to me like the 60s when we were doing the same thing about communism. It's crazy. And I don't get it.
Well, we're all very frustrated, Rick, because we see more signs of encroachment.
The presidential things. My choice right now is for either a criminal or an egotist. And for president, ego versus crime. And here we are, and Bernie Sanders will be Hillary's running mate. Yes, again, it'll happen just like that. And I've been watching Saturday Night Live on their little skits on the Democratic and Republican parties. That is a pretty well caricaturizes exactly what we're up against now. It's terrible. It's a disgrace. And I don't know anybody that isn't. It isn't like I'm going to vote for one person because I don't want to vote for another. That's crazy. That's crazy. It's not right. It's not right.
There is a we used to call them Congress critters. I don't think that's really a fair description or an accurate description. I think we need to start calling them Congress criminals. That would be more appropriate. So there's a Congress criminal who has written a book, and it will be published very shortly. And I'm going to quote the name of this book because I really don't speak this way, but it's called Screw the Next Generation, unquote. Screw the Next Generation. So it's written by this anonymous Congress criminal, okay? And what he says is it's easy. I read this story this morning. I'll try to post it on the website during this broadcast. It's easy to manipulate self-absorbed sheep. That's what he says. It's easy to manipulate self-absorbed sheep. And he says the main job is to get reelected. That's the Congress criminal's main job, to get reelected. And then she talks about fundraising takes 30 hours a week. And because it takes so much time to raise money to become reelected, they don't read the bills they vote on. They don't read what they vote on, which is in itself a crime to me. So now what do? Well, I guess we arrest the Congress criminals for dereliction of duty, violation of oath of office, and corruption and racketeering. That's what we arrest them for. But who's going to arrest them? The criminal cops? And would they be prosecuted by a criminal prosecutor? And this is a tough situation. This is just like Rome collapsing, right? Under corruption. We're here. We are absolutely here. And this Congress criminal said in his book, screw the next generation. And it's absolutely perfectly clear that is what government in bed with corporations are doing. And the perfect example is Fukushima. Perfect example. Another example is GMO labeling. Another example is the meat industry, where our meat in the United States is stamped USDA inspected, but it comes from as many as 14 countries. But it's USDA inspected. So we don't know where our meat's coming from. We don't know what's in our food. We're being killed. We're being poisoned from above. We're getting the chemtrail flu. And I think a revolution's coming. I really do. And more people are saying, I can't wait. I wish it started yesterday, people are saying to me.
That was in the skit, Saturday Night Live skit, is that Hillary Clinton is, yes, let's have a street revolution. It's unbelievable. It's crazy. And I never thought I've never been interested in politics. I'm a nerd. I don't pay attention to that kind of stuff. I never did. And now it's in my face. It's like, I don't know what to do.
None of us really does, Rick. And the reason it's in our face is we've been told that we've been spied on, and we thought, how could they listen to all of our phone calls? How could they do that? Why would they do that? And then we realized that they couldn't do it without Microsoft. They couldn't do it without Apple. They couldn't do it without AT&T. They couldn't do it without Verizon. So the companies that we use, we choose their products unknowingly, naively, ill-informed. We buy their products and pay for our own demise. And what kind of a government is it that feels that they've got to, that they are the hammer and everything around them is a nail, and they've got to smack us all down? I mean, why is that? And what would happen if these cops that saw that, or thought that, maybe we're going to show up at their house? What would they think? Rick, I was talking with Norm Shealy yesterday about GMO foods, and I mentioned that I get stomach interruptus when I have corn now. Most corn, not all corn, but darn near all. And he said it's toxic, and because it's GMO and the herbicides and so forth. Well, our Congress critters have made it so that we can't tell what's GMO and what's not, because the ingredients are hidden from us on the labels. Well, so obviously they're not interested in our well-being. I think they want to kill us for a lot of reasons, one of which is they don't want us to receive the Social Security payments that we deserve because they forced us to pay into them. But I'll share with you one way of responding to just the GMO labeling issue. And I think if we did it across the country, we would bring it to a screeching halt within 90 days. Dr. Richard Allen Miller, and I'll be right back. DocRam.com. Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from IronEdison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of IronEdison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our IronEdison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at IronEdison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market. The gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey water filters for the love of clean water.
Are you worried about how dangerous the world's become? In these days of terrorist attacks, natural disasters, or even a future collapse, you need to be medically prepared to keep your family safe. I'm Joe Alton, MD of store.doomandbloom.net, where you'll find an entire line of uniquely designed medical kits and supplies for when help is not on the way. For everything from individual first aid kits to the ultimate family medical bag, go to store.doomandbloom.net today. That's store.doomandbloom.net. You'll be glad you did.
Dangerous blood clot device alert. If you or a loved one had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to your heart or lungs and suffered an injury, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, and even death. These dangerous blood clot devices can break, and the metal fragments can travel to your heart or lungs, causing serious injuries. If you or a loved one suffered organ damage or other injuries from an IVC filter, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. This is an advertisement. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. InjuryHelpDesk.com is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada.
There's nothing more enticing and intoxicating than the finest meat cooking on an open flame. Freeze-dried meat from NewHarvest.com is U.S. grown, 100% all-natural with no extra fillers. Just grass-fed beef and free-range chicken guaranteed to stay fresh and delicious. Add New Harvest freeze-dried meats to your current food storage. You'll buy direct from the factory, not a third party, ensuring the best price and the highest quality. See all our products at NewHarvestFoods.com. That's NUHarvestFoods.com.
Doc Ram's with us, Dr. Richard Allen Miller, docram.com. So, Rick, here's what I was thinking. Very simple exercise. It'll take us about 15 or 20 minutes for each one of us who chooses to do this kind of thing. So you go to the supermarket of your choice. You pick any supermarket, the larger the better, and you fill your cart with some products that have GMO, that you believe have GMO. You do some research, like Campbell's, some of Campbell's soups, and so you and Fritos and whatever else you think is a GMO product, and then you go to either the checkout, and as you put the items on the conveyor belt, you say, Hold it. Is this a GMO product? Does this contain GMO ingredients? And the cashier will say, I don't know. You say, okay, well, before we continue, can you help us find out? Maybe you can get the manager to come over here and help us. And you can be Columbo the way I do. Okay, so can you get the manager? That would be great. Thank you so much. So ultimately, the manager comes over. Everybody behind you is annoyed because now you're taking so long. But they're getting a lesson about GMO. Okay, and then 2 aisles over, they're looking at you, and they're looking at you from all directions. And you have to stay the course when you do this. And then you say, well, I don't know. You don't know if these are GMO products? You don't know? You sell these things and you have no idea? I'll tell you what, I'm not going to take a chance. Tell you what, just let's forget the whole thing. And you leave. You leave right then and there. Or before you leave, you say, I'll tell you what, I'm going to have to shop where they do know, or where they label foods. Or you go to the customer service area and you ask for the manager, and you interrupt his or her business, and you say, well, let's go through this cart because I've got 17 items in here, and I just need your expertise because I know you know, because you're the boss and you didn't get there by not knowing what's GMO. So let's go through this. Is this a GMO? Does this can of Campbell's soup have GMO ingredients? Yes or no? You don't know? Wow. How about this? How about these Fritos? How about this can of corn? Wow, you don't know. Tell you what, why don't I'll just leave them with you. Thank you so much. I'll go someplace else. Now, Rick, what do you think about doing that? If we all did that, maybe once a week.
I've got a bunch of I've been shopping at the same store for 30 years. What am I going to do? Cause trouble in my own neighborhood.
Well, wait a minute. Wait. Who's causing the trouble, Rick? Are they causing the trouble?
That's the point. It's just... I'd be scared to do that.
Let me ask you this. Rick, Can you imagine? Now, seriously, you know me pretty well. Do you think that's something that I would do?
Oh, yeah. Yes. You love a scrap, actually. You like to go in and cause trouble. I know you. Oh, man.
Well, I don't know how else to fix this.
The fun of it.
Well, I don't know how to fix it, Rick, other than that, because no one's listening to us.
Yeah.
You can't, who do you call? Who do you call? Can't call your Congress criminals.
We could call Ghostbusters. That's what we could call. Have those locked and loaded women come in with all their weapons. That'd be a cool thing.
Can't call Joey Kyle, former sheriff of Christian County, Missouri, because he's a criminal, self-admitted criminal. Got involved in a financial scheme. Yeah, to deceive his friends, family, and village. Yeah, Sheriff Joey Kyle. Yep, and those are people who have made the news. Okay, so Rick, I've got some really big questions for you.
Oh no!
And well, I mean, these are the largest science questions there are. So, for example, when I was in elementary school, I learned about atoms containing protons and neutrons, and that was what we were told back then, to keep it simple, and electrons. And then we were told that, they're mostly empty space, these atoms, and the atoms comprise molecules, and the molecules, comprise things, like pencils and paper and air and earth and cars and everything. Everything's made of these. But they're mostly empty space, these atoms. So what is the universe made of? Do we have even a clue?
Well, I don't know how to answer that. I'll wait for the commercial. It's going to take a minute.
Yeah, and Rick, the measurable weight of an atom comprises about 5% of it. So the rest of it, the 95%, what is it?
We have a different idea now about space and time.
Yeah. Great. Hold that thought. We'll be right back. Dr.
Worried about lead, fluoride, and other contaminants in your drinking water? Purchase a ProPure system during the Crazy May sale and get a free ProMax shower filter or water filter pitcher. Remove up to 200 contaminants with the Pro 1G 2.0 truly cleanable, reusable filter. We don't stretch our claims. We just deliver performance. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer for details or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Hello?
Congratulations.
For what?
For losing all that weight. How'd you do it so fast?
ASAP.
ASAP what? What's that mean?
Are you ready to get as skinny as possible, as soon as possible, as simple as possible, and as sexy as possible?
I'm listening.
Then get with the ASAP program. It's real and it works. No smooth talk, no slick advertising, and no exaggerated claims of success.
I've got to know more.
Welcome to ASAP, as slim as possible. Whether you have 10, 20, or 50 pounds to lose, ASAP is your weight loss answer. ASAP targets the abnormal fat reserves and makes them available to be burned as fuel and contains no caffeine or hormones. Order ASAP at wholesale prices or join the team to share the business with others. Visit GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. Lose weight and look great with ASAP, as slim as possible.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shop the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-403-4885. That's 1-800-403-4885. 1-800-403-4885. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details in the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Hi, this is Ron Paul. I'm a former 22-year congressman and Republican presidential candidate. I'm here to tell you about something that just might save your lives. You never know when there will be another Katrina, an economic collapse, or a serious drought. We should all have a little food storage that will carry us through tough times. I'm going to tell you about a great way to do that. A U.S. company named Harvest Right has a kitchen appliance that can help you be prepared. It's a home freeze dryer. With the product, you can preserve the foods your family loves. And the best part is the food will last 25 years and still taste great. I've tried it and it's amazing. With a home freeze dryer from Harvest Right, you can literally freeze dry anything you eat, even things like ice cream. To learn more, call Harvest Right today at 800-594-4635 or go to harvestright.com. That's 800-594-4635 or harvestright.com.
Is negative content or comments on the web affecting your personal or professional reputation? Unfavorable comments, embarrassing pictures, videos, legal documents, and negative articles can ruin your personal life, your career, or your business. It happens a lot, and it's just not fair. But what can you do? ReputationDefender.com can help protect your good name. Get a free consultation now. Call 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Call right now for a free expert reputation analysis. It's easy to squash the unfair attacks with our patented system, and the analysis is absolutely free. Make the best things about you jump out in searches. Protect your personal and professional reputation, your business, and your income. Get your free reputation analysis from ReputationDefender.com right now. Call 800-831-0771. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com today.
You know, Rick, I'm going to miss you this weekend. I'm going to be at Sevierville, Tennessee at the RK Prepper Show. And there are a whole bunch of seminars at this particular RK Prepper Show and Gun Show. And that's Saturday and Sunday. Sevierville, Tennessee. Sevierville, Tennessee. And there's a link to the RK Prepper Show on the website usaprepares.com, or just go to rkpreppershows.com. So, Rick, I'm going to miss you, but we're going to be doing other shows together at the RK Prepper Shows, right?
Yes, we are. Mm-hmm. I'll be in Kansas City and Springfield. I won't make the Alabama one, but I will make Pensacola and one other.
Mm-hmm. That'd be great. Great. It'd be great to see you and Matt Stein, and it'd be great to work together again,
yes,
as we have so many times. Yeah, so Rick, what's the universe made of? Do we have a clue?
See, that's the big question that has plagued scientists forever. I mean, going way back to Isaac Newton and the idea of gravity and mass and force. What is it? What is it not? When you deal on gross levels, the physical plane, it's pretty easy to understand the weight of one thing being heavier than the weight of something else. But the fact that they fall at the same rate, that's interesting. And how does that work, except for maybe a feather, And so we have had the idea of an atom and a molecule for a very long time, and now that's changing. And our idea of space is changing. And that's leading from a quantum mechanical universe into a holographic one, where everything is simply connected. Today, back when I was a kid, I'll start it that way. When I was a kid, I proposed the glue that held an atom together and all the space between it was a meson. Today, that is called a muon and leads to a reverse field of tachyons going faster than the speed of light. Now that suggests a type of universe where there is a reflected wave in an opposite universe, like a black hole leading to a white hole, another universe altogether. And that we have a concept now of dark matter that we don't really understand. We can say it, sort of, but we don't really know what it is yet. And so it might be that the dark matter is part of a universe which is a white hole as opposed to a black hole, and that our future and time is similarly related, with the future and the past being observed at the moment. It's unusual where time is not real either, and that you have forgotten your future and you are remembering your past in the moment. It's an unusual direction that I don't know where we're going to end up. Why we choose to look at a universe a certain way is that it opens and closes certain doors. And then we can more accurately, with a theory and a law of physics, be able to define what's going to happen next. When you encounter paranormal phenomena, now the rules are out because it's not easy to identify what the variables are, and time and space, and opposed to information. And so what is the universe made of? I haven't got a clue. I could use the atom and electron, and that will allow certain solutions and realities that I can predict. But then I run up against things I can't predict, and that's when I start to question my law. And that's where we are at the present moment, constantly questioning, because there are lots of things. You know, Wilhelm Reich and Nikola Tesla proposed ectoplasm, a pre-mortal, the building block, not an atom, that pervaded all space and time, and that it was all simply connected, and really it was imagination that created the universe. And that's where I'm tending to go now. I believe that just about anything is possible once you believe it's so.
Yeah, Rick,
including criminals running our president.
I was thinking about that, but you know, is it real? But I'll tell you, when I hit my thumb with a hammer, I really believe it hurts. and you mentioned gravity, and that's this natural phenomenon by which it seems that things are attracted toward each other. So I had this other question about gravity. Is gravity instantaneous? I mean, is it there like instantly? Is it always there, or does it ramp up in speed or attraction or
well,
strength?
It has to do, the way we're discussing it now, the theory is it's related to the curvature in space, kind of like a marble rolling down a big ball. If the ball is the space is curved, the marble will rotate as a spiral. In fact, that goes back to Roger Penrose and the geometric universe and his works about torus twistor space, and that space is turning on itself, and that's what creates gravity, the concept of gravity.
Stephen Hawking wrote a book called Brief History of Time. And you can get it as an ebook class. And I borrowed it from the library many years ago. And I got on the tractor and I was cutting hay. And it was the kind of thing that would last all day, meaning cutting hay. And this ebook is about 6 hours. And I had an MP3 player. I had an earbud in an ear so I could listen and also hear the drone of the tractor so I knew if something was going wrong. And I listened to this for 6 hours. And then the next day I did it again. it is really, really complicated to just try to understand what time is, Rick. Just time.
Well,
and I don't even know if we know.
Because there's so many variables. And which ones are important?
And did it have a beginning? Will it have an end? Was it always there? How could it always have been there without a beginning or an end? How's that possible? And Rick, is it just that our brain it's not big enough, it's not fast enough?
Well, that's the definition of God, that which cannot be known. That is a definition for God in the physical sense as a scientist, that which cannot be known. It's beyond comprehension. You can experience it, but you can't know it. You can get close to it. You can get closer and closer, like Simon says, but it's not by definition, God is that which cannot be known. That's a good, solid definition beginning of what to try to define. And imagination is then not capable of grasping the entirety of God. And imagination is reality. So isn't that an interesting, kind of a dichotomy?
And I remember talking with my dad, and at one time he used the term, that's not knowable. And I thought, that's not knowable. I'd never heard that before. I was a lot younger. That's not knowable. And that's kind of what he was talking about, Rick. At least
yeah, it's the idea that we would think that everything is knowable at some century. However, there are anthropological studies that show the Aborigine and the Hopi work in a more magical universe where there's a mystery school. It's not necessary to know how something works in order to be able to use it.
Mm-hmm. And Rick, you mentioned a black hole. Do we have any, and white holes? Do we have any idea what's in a black hole, or maybe even what's at the bottom?
No, the movie Interstellar, actually, it was a generic model of what we now believe is related to time, where he goes through this black hole at the end of the movie, and then using paranormal phenomena, pushing books out of a library in his attempt to communicate to his daughter in the past. And that is a model I now use in understanding how my future is talking to myself with synchronicity. Synchronicity is the idea that when you have 5 things in front of you, why do you find that one thing more significant than anything else? And that is how a future timeline is talking to your present to change and modify your past. And I am currently absolutely enjoying that concept. The example I would use normally would be the fact that when I trained Navy SEALs, there was no such thing as a super soldier. And so it was SEAL Corporation. And as time has passed and my dialogue with my future has increased to the point where I'm speaking about it at this very moment, it changes my past. And now Navy SEALs has a mythology that's quite different than at the moment I was doing it. Isn't that interesting? My past is changing. Navy SEALs didn't exist when I was training them.
And that was SEAL Corporation. How does that relate to past life regression?
I don't know. I'm going to say that we have in the structure of our body in water a memory that could hold all pasts and all futures, and that what we're doing is selecting which ones we blow up into reality and which ones we collapse down into singularity. And that's the choice that God gave us. That's what made us favored. It's a very complicated thing, and yet is something that you just know.
Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now, with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Blockit Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockitPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockitPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockitPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
Suffering from illness or disease? Frequently in pain? Overstressed? Always tired? The solution is to oxygenate your cells because disease cannot survive in an oxygen-rich environment. Introducing Vital Ion, the first mineralized edible oxygen in the world. Go to toolsforfreedom.com and get the Miracle of Oxygenation DVD free with any Vital Ion purchase. Call 800-770-8802. That's 800-770-8802. Let Vital Ion edible oxygen be your daily fountain of youth.
This is a life-changing message for anyone with sleep apnea who is on the go and tired of dragging around a big, bulky home CPAP device. MiniCPAP.com now offers a portable device that's as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. For even more freedom, you can add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. It's called the Transcend Mini CPAP, and right now you can try it risk-free for 10 days by calling 1-800-945-9289. Transcend is the world's first portable mini CPAP device. It gives you the freedom to sleep in total comfort anywhere you are. Our smallest and most advanced portable design ever, Transcend is so small and so light you can fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. Enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere. Call minicpap.com now for your 10-day at-home trial. 1-800-945-9289. That's 1-800-945-9289.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Class Doc Ram is with us, Dr. Richard Allen Miller. If you'd like to go to his website, peruse his books, docram.com, docram.com. Rick, how did the broadcast go on Coast to Coast?
I'm so overwhelmed with email. I have over 400 email I have not yet responded to. Anyone that sent me email, please be patient. I'm trying to catch up. Being ill as I am and everything, it's just been impossible. I don't know. It was almost the same amount of people as when I did John B. Wells. I had like 6,000 orders after that interview. I was totally sold out of books, trying to keep up with everything. It's just been a challenge.
Well, that's great news. I'm glad it's that kind of a challenge.
It was just in time. Thank you, Lord. I'm blessed in that sense of it. I'm very lucky because there wasn't a single criticism except you know who, just her, and that's it. There was nobody that has a problem with me. They like what I'm trying to do and believe in what I'm trying to do. And it's very encouraging when you're working on fumes, just trying to keep your thing together. Right now, I'm in such pain with my back that I can't hardly breathe right. I'm going in again today for the heart stress test where they inject isotopes in me. They're trying to figure out what's wrong with me. And right now, they're just going through the elimination of what it is not.
So, class, if you're inclined to pray, please include Dr. Richard Allen Miller in your prayers. Rick, you mentioned complaints. I got to tell you that we don't get any complaints here.
I know, isn't it amazing for all the different people out there that nobody really has a problem? They basically agree with our attempts to try to straighten out what we see is going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and over the years, I've called Ted Anderson. He's the owner of Genesis Communications Network, and what I do is I call and I say, if he's not there, at that moment, he calls me back. He calls me back, right away, and usually the conversation starts out with, Vincent, we don't get any complaints about you, and then we chat, or he tells me that if I ask him, has he gotten any complaints? No, we don't have any problems with you. No complaints, nothing. And I find that absolutely fascinating. And I've talked to John Statmiller. He carries the broadcast on Republic Broadcasting Network delayed, tape delay every day, Monday through Friday, and he hasn't gotten any either. So it's not just GCN that doesn't get complaints. And when I was on a local radio station in the very beginning, I got 3 complaints. So in over 5 years of broadcasting, we've gotten 3 complaints, but it was within the first month or so of me coming on the air. And one person said, if you don't like this country, why don't you just leave? And I said, well, I love this country, and I think they should leave. And I'm not leaving. They're going to leave.
That's a wonderful response.
Yeah, and
that's the American way. You have a right to your opinion.
Yeah, and I had David Christopher on, and he got a complaint because he said, why would anybody drink milk from a 2,000-pound cow? And a farmer called up and said, there's no such thing. Well, there are cows that weigh 2,000 pounds. They're mostly bulls, though. And so we got one complaint there, and I forget what the other one was. But basically, we haven't had a complaint after those initial 3 complaints in years, over 5 years. So I think either no one's listening, which I don't think is the case, or there are so many people who agree with the type of discussions that we have, just as you said, Rick. When we come back after these few short commercial announcements and top of the hour news, can we talk about time travel? Yeah, and then what about another question? Can we live forever? Because Timothy Leary said that anyone alive today has the chance of, well, I said it many years ago, could live for 1,000 years. Replacement parts and so forth. So time travel, and can we live 1,000 years or so? Dr. Richard Allen Miller is with us. I'm Vin Finelli. This is USAPrepares.com. And don't forget the Arcade Prepper Show this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. I'll be there in Seaverville, Tennessee. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
Everyone all set, cocked, and locked? Hour number 2 of USAPrepares.com. Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us. And docram.com is the website. Rick, time travel. Is time travel something that may be possible in our lifetimes?
I think we're already doing it. I'm not sure it's what you think it is. I'm not sure it's what I think it is. Time is not real in one sense, because just in my book Power Tools, one of the protocols I trained Navy SEALs were how to change their perception of time with breathing. When we get caught up in a moment, things become timeless. There is no sense of time. When we're in danger and in an emergency situation, time slows down. Our ability to pick detail up is increased 1,000 times. So in the sense of experiencing what time is and what it is not, Robert Ornstein said that it is a duration of consciousness. It has a beginning, a middle part, and an end to it in terms of our sense of time. And the moment and what we separate from sacred from the profane allows us to go into a place of timelessness at will, and that it is about intent and the caught up in the moment of flow. And so what time is and what it is not in terms of an atomic clock measuring so many particle decays per second kind of thing is a waste of time in one sense of things. In a quantum mechanical universe, in a one with atoms and electrons, we measure everything in space and time, the distance and how long it took. In a holographic universe, it doesn't work that way. It is more about information and the resolution of it. Like when you have a physical phenomena, there is an emotional content to it of how you feel about it. That feeling is where time changes. And so there is a different way of looking at things that would make time different. Now, I have used the concept of a drop of water hitting a pool to discuss time. And the drop, when it hits the water, will pop back up halfway or a little less as another drop of water, but it's not really a drop of water. And what actually happens is when the water hits, the drop hits the water, it sets up a series of waves going outward. That's the future. And the wave that goes inward and slaps itself causes a cavitation ball to capture the medium in which it's falling. And that is the past. That is why they say the past is a primary wave and that the future has a number of possible timelines. The wave going outward could be larger if the drop was heavier, or a larger drop of water, or falling from a further distance. And that the cavitation is the moment that drop hits that other medium, it creates the concept of time.
Rick, as you say this, I was thinking about, a visit to the emergency room where I was in a vehicle taking someone to the emergency room. And all distractions are put aside. All the things that we might be paying attention to normally are put aside. The color of the grasses, the leaves, the houses, the other traffic, all of that is put aside except for what appears to be absolutely necessary to survival at that moment and the plans for the duration of the trip to the emergency room. And then what do we do when we get there? But it seems like everything else is put aside. Just the distractions are eliminated. And is that what you were saying?
Well, all the detail is there. It's that what is consciousness focused on? And consciousness is only one part of awareness. We have all these other altered states that are all going on simultaneously. When you look at a blade of grass, you don't notice the ant that's crawling through it, but that is registered as part of the detail of what's going on. And consciousness, awareness, is one part of many, many parts of our awareness. And the consciousness is very limited. And that's why I say we've been blessed with all these different altered states, because you can do things in some altered states that you cannot do in consciousness. And so they're tools to be learned how to use as a way of directing purpose and intent. I'm going to be writing about this more in the Non-Local Mind book that sequels Power Tools. And I am starting to get a better sense of what the future actually means and how we can change our future and our past with our intent of the moment. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to understand how to do that for myself. Once I do, I will write about it and try to leave it as a metaphor for you to figure out how to do it for yourself. I don't know how to explain it, but when you find significance in something, that's your future, talking to your present, literally. It's called synchronicity.
And that's what I'm...
find significance in one thing over another.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I meant by putting some of the things that we do notice, but push them to the side because they are not as high of importance at that moment. When
but they're being registered. They're all everything is there. That's the part about in a holographic universe where our awareness is to achieve detail. Resolution of the information.
Rick, do you think our minds are capable of more than we use them for? You know, I was told when I was in elementary school that we only use 10% of our brain. I find that hard to believe that we only use 10%. I mean, there's a lot of things going on in our bodies. You know, that brain as a computer is doing multitasking or our time division multiplexing, but it's really, really busy. Do you think that we're only using 10%, or is that kind of a...
Well, we're only consciously using 10%. Consciousness is using 10%. There are other things going on, like your gut, that is outside space-time. You know, if you go into a very light, altered state of consciousness, your ability in guessing is increased 400 times. That means you have the knowledge of what is going to happen. It's just that you don't focus on that consciously.
Can you teach us a little bit, a thumbnail sketch of how to do that right here on the air?
Well, yeah, there's an altered state. It's done with hypnosis. That's the part I teach at these RK gun shows. I actually take people down into these states and then show them that their ability in guessing in this state has increased 400 times. I just wonder how that would play if I were to teach that next to a casino.
Well, I'm sure there are a lot of people would like to know that.
Yeah, well, if you win the lottery, I'll put you on the back end of my book, you know, promoting it, the concept. The idea, there is an altered state near consciousness that is more directed toward instinct and knowing what to do, not thinking about it. Your upper brain, that thing you call the mind, is there primarily to make all your beliefs true. That's, you know, that's how it works. I wouldn't have seen it if I hadn't have believed it.
You know, that terminology, I wouldn't have seen it if I hadn't have believed it. That has been coming to my mind a couple times a week now. I wouldn't have seen it if I hadn't believed it.
Well,
and,
that's
you know, it's
how it works.
Yeah. Yeah, and it, you know, when you first hear that, now, well, how can that be true? But it is. It is true, Rick.
So Rick, here we are at the end of days. And what are we going to do now?
Well, it seems that our interests are not being represented by the people who have lied to us and who have told us, by the way, that they would represent us. By the way, Barry Soetoro, Barack Obama, said that people who run for office should be accountable for their campaign promises. So, you know, I looked up his campaign promises, and I looked up the things that he said he was going to do. Wow. Let's hold him accountable for the things that he hasn't done. And let's hold Hillary Clinton accountable for the things that she lied about. And what a morass. What a morass. I mean, that's why we say never reelect anybody.
Well,
because I believe
is being called by John, you know, he's called a man baby. I mean, get a grip on what we've got to choose to represent our finest and most educated.
You know, Rick, we have been lying. Our government has been lying to the villagers from the beginning, from the Boston Tea Party even, where we dressed up as Indians, so that the Indians would get the blame for what those who were in the colonies were doing. Let's blame the other guy. We've been doing that for class. I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now. with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
Dangerous blood clot device alert. If you or a loved one had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to your heart or lungs and suffered an injury, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, and even death. These dangerous blood clot devices can break, and the metal fragments can travel to your heart or lungs, causing serious injuries. If you or a loved one suffered organ damage or other injuries from an IVC filter, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Act now. Time is limited to file a claim. For a free consultation and free information, call Injury Help Desk at 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. 800-478-1507. This is an advertisement. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. InjuryHelpDesk.com is responsible for this advertisement. Principal office, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Are you worried about how dangerous the world has become? In these days of terrorist attacks, natural disasters, or even a future collapse, you need to be medically prepared to keep your family safe. I'm Joe Alton, MD of store.doomandbloom.net, where you'll find an entire line of uniquely designed medical kits and supplies for when help is not on the way. For everything from individual first aid kits to the ultimate family medical bag, go to store.doomandbloom.net today. That's store.doomandbloom.net. You'll be glad you did.
Do you have dry hands or itchy, peeling skin? Are your cracked feet in need of a makeover for sandal season? Hi, my name is Diane Cook, the creator of Bee Spa Hand and Foot Cream. Bee Spa is all natural, 16% beeswax, marigold extract, and other essential oils and nutrients. Bee Spa is great for exceptionally dry hands and feet, but Bee Spa can be used anywhere on the body. I am sure you will see a difference overnight. Bee Spa is the only cream you will ever need. The convenient 2.5 ounce size jar travels nicely and a little goes a long way. Bee Spa Hand and Foot Cream costs $29.99. Use promotion code 101 for free shipping. Order Bee Spa Hand and Foot Cream today at beespa.com. That's BEESPA.com. That's BEESPA.com.
If you want to raise the next generation of Patriot leaders, take a look at Freedom Project Academy, a Judeo-Christian online school for kindergarten through high school. No Common Core teaching methods or high-stakes testing. Freedom Project Academy is government-free, doesn't accept any government funding, and is a fully accredited private school. All classes are taught live online with real teachers across the country. Open enrollment runs March through July, but classes fill up quickly. Check them out at fpeusa.org. That's fpeusa.org.
I am here. How about you?
I'm here.
Can you hear me, Rick? Okay,
yes,
great.
I can.
Great. Okay. I'm going to be teaching a seminar this weekend at the Arcade Prepper Show and Gun Show, and that's in Sevierville, Tennessee, Saturday and Sunday. So here are the seminars for Saturday. Basics of Body Armor. Then I'll be teaching a seminar on preparing through business tax deductions, which is teaching you how to start your own business, any kind of business, and teaching you how the tax system works at an overview. And it will be an eye-opener. It always is when I teach the seminar. Then colloidal silver food storage, passive solar greenhouse designing, and then there's a concept of urban survival, and then society-ending events, oils. And then radiation, how to protect yourself. That's Saturday. Sunday is the basics of body armor, food storage, concept of urban survival, morals of survival. Then essential oils. Let's see. Emergency drinking water, intro to firearms. I'll be teaching a seminar on how big the lies are. And the reason I teach that is I'll be teaching about some really big lies And then you'll realize that you can't believe what the media is saying. And I'm going to prove it to you. And I'll teach you how to ferret out the truth, and then colloidal silver. So that's the schedule for this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, rkpreppershows.com, rkpreppershows.com. Also, link on page 1 of USA Prepares. Cost $12, adults $5 for younger adults. Okay, and we're going to have dinner. So on Saturday, if you'd like to have dinner with me, a bunch of us will pick a restaurant and we'll go and we'll continue our learning experience. And if you decide to start your business, any kind of business in your mind, you just tell yourself you're going to start a business, the trip can be a tax deduction.
That sounds like fun. Yes. I wish that was coming.
Me too, Rick. I wish you guys were going to be there with me, but you'll be with us at future RK Prepper shows this year. Rick, Bruce Jenner changed his name to Caitlyn, and then he looks like he underwent some chemical changes. He took some estrogen, and now it looks like there's some rumors that maybe it was the wrong thing to do, and he wants to go back. So it looks like they're going to consider, or this is a rumor, that he may consider reversing this process, getting off the estrogen and getting testosterone. Can you imagine that?
Well, each of us, that's again, goes back to the time thing. All of us have an inner being that's usually our opposite. The movie, all that jazz, portrayed that androgynous part of self as your future. I'm guessing my higher self, Angel, is a woman. And there is a dialogue that goes on that makes my presence a bit feminine in terms of understanding a woman. The difference between a woman and a man is minor when you consider it is basically down to micrograms of different hormones and micrograms. And so there is an interesting confusion there, and that the idea of ego is what separates and makes me unique from you. There's a book you could read on that by June Singer called Androgyny that's worth a read. It is Jungian. It has to do with how you and your wife dialogue in the old Jewish Bible. I'll get back to that later, if you'd like, between the idea of the lovers and the hermit as the way to go to God.
Okay, let's do that. And then also, can we live longer? Timothy Leary said we could. Let's talk about that too. And what do we do about the population problem, Rick? Is that something population problem?
Oh, yeah.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs. So you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
Suffering from illness or disease? Frequently in pain? Overstressed? Always tired? The solution is to oxygenate your cells because disease cannot survive in an oxygen-rich environment. Introducing Vital Ion, the first mineralized edible oxygen in the world. Go to toolsforfreedom.com and get the Miracle of Oxygenation DVD free with any Vital Ion purchase. Call 800-770-8802. That's 800-770-8802. Let Vital Ion edible oxygen be your daily fountain of youth.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 Pain Hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-403-4885. That's 1-800-403-4885. 1-800-403-4885. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details in the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Dr. Richard Allen Miller is with us. Class, if you'd like to go to his website, docram.com. And if you'd like to peruse his list of books to purchase, there you go. docram.com or richardallenmiller.com. Richard, A-L-A-N, Miller, M-I-L-L-E-R.com. And there's a link on the instructors page at usaprepares.com as well. Rick, you talked about androgyny, and that's gender ambiguity, right?
No, it's within each of us, we have a masculine and feminine side. And, you know, that's the ability to love. And in the tree of life, the way to go back to God, back to the garden, there's two paths that go to God. There is the hermit and the lovers. And usually the hermit is that you do it androgynously, where you're a balanced human being, or you do it where you have a reflected mate in the external world. And the mate that you choose, like Sandy is with you, best reflects your inner feminine part of self. And that's what is the glue that holds that marriage together. And she best reflects the most perfect woman that you could imagine. And that's what is called the lovers in the tarot card or the path on the tree of life. It is, and when she no longer reflects that, that's when divorce happens. And it's as simple as a single value change in her or yourself that causes you to no longer see her as reflecting that best image of yourself. And that's Jungian psychotherapy. It's not, it's a way of looking at the universe. It's not necessarily true any more than time is. It's a way of seeing things and why you would choose one woman over another. Something to think about in your relationship to yourself and others.
Mm-hmm. Very well put, and there's plenty of divorce to go around.
Well, that's and really, here's the most important part of that. When a divorce occurs, it's not her fault. She has nothing to do with it. What happens is that person is no longer reflecting the most ideal person inside yourself. And because change is the key of things, people change. And so it's not her fault that she's not living up to your expectations. It is something that is going on inside yourself.
Wow. Very, very well put, Dr. Richard Allen Miller. Class, I hope that you all have found someone, as I have, someone who really is the complement, someone who really helps and is with me all the time.
Yeah, Sandy carries a pistol just like you do. That's my girl.
Yeah, she does. Yeah. Rick, how about, can we live to be 1,000, as Timothy Leary said that, he said that anyone, as I remember it, anyone living today, and he said this many years ago, can live to be 1,000. And he was talking about extra parts and, replacement parts and so forth.
Avatars, creating a golem that you can inhabit. What do you think your physical body is? It's not you. It's a machine. And so, from a metaphor point of view, you're already inhabiting a machine. And now what we're doing is learning how to make those machines work better, last longer. I remember, you got to change the oil.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's enhancements today are such that Ward Dean, who is Surgeon General for the Marine Corps, has written a book called Biological Aging Mechanisms. It's a clinical approach. That means he went out into all the different universities and the way they each individually differently measure aging processes. And in every single case, every single element is reversible. In his book, he shows that if we measure aging this way, that process is reversible. And the way Sally Fields put it in the ARP magazine is that at some point you are yourself, and it's timeless. It isn't about aging. Now, as far as a get-out-of-jail card for a time machine and or a bunker, again, that is a metaphor that I am now learning how to change my perception of time to the point where it won't matter. It doesn't work like that. And so to live 1,000 years, you already have if you go into the structure of memory and, look at your so-called past lives of knowledge base. Isn't that interesting? The way you might look at something differently.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I was in the dentist chair a while ago, and I said to the gal who was getting me all set for the dentist to come in, I said, "Wow, I don't see any of those arm grips that, you can squeeze and hold on to, like while you're being drilled and filled. And she said, yeah, it's kind of broken. So as I reclined, I just put myself in another state. And so instead of it being an eternity of that drilling and filling, it appeared to be very, very short in time. And that's what you teach, yes?
That's the concept of using altered states as tools to manipulate and direct the experience. There's all different ways you can relate to something. That's, again, why God made you his favorite by giving you a choice. You can do it kicking and screaming, or you can flow, and you have that choice. That's why everything works out in the end, and if things aren't working out, it's not yet the end.
Rick, I was thinking about how long we've been snooping and spying on people. The term eavesdroppers, beeping Toms. And then, I was thinking about this satellite antenna that I saw back in 1980 at Ford Aerospace. And it was that 90 meter antenna, that white antenna that's just huge, and it would articulate. And so we've been listening with that radio telescope antenna, probably since the 70s with that particular one. And we've been eavesdropping on the universe. Are we alone? That's the question.
Well, the way Allie put it to the kids at the end of the movie in Contact is, it would seem as if it's an awful lot of waste of space. Mm-hmm. Of course, we're not alone. The very fact that you could conceive of the possibility of life on other planets, on other solar systems, your imagination is reality. How could it not be? How could they not exist? If imagination can conceive of it, of course they're there, because our imagination is only in 4th grade. We don't even have a clue of any of it yet. And life, as we understand it, does not have to be biped and humanoid. It can be all kinds of things, like a virus. They're not even sure if viruses are alive or not. The definition of it is different than that of a bacteria. And so, there's the big question. I think that there are entities. Grace Thorne's home in Oklahoma is haunted. There is no question there's an entity there. Now, that entity is not from God, according to the various scriptures that you'll read, which means it's something else. And that's the part that's very, very interesting. I don't know what it all means yet.
So, we're not alone. Carl Sagan taught us that in class at the university, and I was very fortunate to have Carl Sagan as an instructor. Now, you knew Carl Sagan, didn't you?
Yes, I did. He was the one that had me go into John Lilly's labs to see if the dolphin had a language. I was a mathematical whiz and spoke a number of languages because I was a polymath, and I spent only 10 days in Lilly's labs when I realized that the dolphin's language, clicks and whistles, was a form of Clifford algebra, dimensional math. It was more complex than Hebrew. There is a mammal who's got a language system that is 10 times more efficient than anything humans have developed. Now, I'm not going to say the dolphin is more advanced than we are, but from technology point of view, they could be easily seen as having a more advanced technology. And orca has a cerebral cortex, and that mammal is actually firing 60% of its cerebral cortex, where man is only doing 10 at any given moment. Now, that would suggest that orca is God, not our God, but that which cannot be known. There's more out there than heaven and hell, my dear Horatio. I don't know how this is all going to play in the end. But I am fascinated by the possibilities.
Rick, when you talk about dolphins, is it because their language is so precise that they're so intelligent compared to
No, it's
our
a
language?
redundancy coefficient. If you catch my drift, they're able to communicate far more information in less effort.
Is that because, like, those of us who speak English might say, well, that's really cool, or that's really hot, or that means that's really nice, and we use different words for the same things, and it's hard to figure out what's what? Is that what you're saying? And they're more precise? Class, I'm a survivalist, and my plan is to be independent of everything that I can so that supply chain disruptions have a minimum impact on our family. What's the first thing that you do when the power goes out? I've researched the best value solar energy system that I can find, one that's backed by the technical support necessary for the undertaking. The system's installed and is generating electricity right now with equipment purchased from ironedison.com. You heard Brandon Williams, CEO of ironedison.com, right here on USA Prepares. Together, we designed our system. In my opinion, our ironedison.com system has more features, more value, and more potential than any other system I've found. We chose the Snyder Electric system with a hybrid inverter, charge controller, power panel, battery disconnect, and the system control panel. If you want energy independence, as we have, please consider calling the engineering team at ironedison.com, 720-432-6433, 720-432-6433.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Dr. Joel Wallach here. If you're a baby boomer and you're worried about the big epidemics coming, and I'm not talking about the bird flu or the swine flu, I'm talking about epidemics of Alzheimer's disease, heart disease, obesity, diabetes, arthritis, cancer. That's because the 80 million baby boomers followed all the advice of doctors, and Houston, we have a problem.
See Dr. Wallach live in Little Rock, Arkansas, Saturday, May 14th, 1 p.m. Go to www.cdocinarkansas.com. That's cdocinarkansas.com.
Do you have dry hands or itchy, peeling skin? Are your cracked feet in need of a makeover for sandal season? Hi, my name is Diane Cook, the creator of Bee Spa Hand and Foot Cream. Bee Spa is all natural, 16% beeswax, marigold extract, and other essential oils and nutrients. Bee Spa is great for exceptionally dry hands and feet, but Bee Spa can be used anywhere on the body. I am sure you will see a difference overnight. Bee Spa is the only cream you will ever need. The convenient 2.5-ounce size jar travels nicely and a little goes a long way. Bee Spa Hand and Foot Cream costs $29.99. Use promotion code 101 for free shipping. Order Bee Spa Hand and Foot Cream today at beespa.com. That's BEESPA.com. That's BEESPA.com.
Is there a difference in body armor? You bet. Quality, warranty, price. Get it all from Patriot Armor. Veteran-owned and operated, Patriot Armor plates are made in America. Max-tested, independent lab certified. Come in many options and protection levels with a lifetime warranty on our steel armor plates and Vibroplate carriers. Plus, industry-leading prices starting at just $149.99. Click PatriotArmorDefense.com. That's PatriotArmorDefense.com. Or call 727-280-7146. When your life depends on it, trust no other. Patriot Armor.
All right, listen up, because this is the most important thing you're going to hear all day. What if I said you could make money flipping houses without any cash, credit, or manual labor? And what if I said you could do it part-time from the comfort of your home? Sound unflippin' believable? Hi, I'm Preston Ely, and I'm going to prove it by sending you a free copy of my smash hit selling book, How to Get Rich in Real Estate. It sells online for $19.95, but I'm giving away free copies this week. To get one before they're gone, call 1-800-959-9582. I used to be so broke. I had my electricity shut off 9 times, but I figured out a simple way to make money flipping houses without even breaking a sweat. Now I'm living the good life, and so should you. Listen, if you're sick and tired of stressing about money, this book could change your life. Hands down, it's the fastest, easiest way to get started in real estate. Let me prove it. Call right now to find out how to get your free book. When they're gone, they're gone. Call 1-800-959-9582. 1-800-959-9582.
Suffering from illness or disease? Frequently in pain? Overstressed? Always tired? The solution is to oxygenate your cells because disease cannot survive in an oxygen-rich environment. Introducing Vital Ion, the first mineralized edible oxygen in the world. Go to toolsforfreedom.com and get the Miracle of Oxygenation DVD free with any Vital Ion purchase. Call 800-770-8802. That's 800-770-8802. Let Vital Ion edible oxygen be your daily fountain of youth.
Class, I'll be in Sevierville, Tennessee at the RK Prepper Show and Gun Show this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. If you'd like to spend some time with us at USA Prepares, Craig Douglas will be there. I'll be there, and some of your other instructors may show up. I think Ed in North Carolina is going to show up, our IT instructor. So it'd be great to see all of you that can make it. Rick, and the information is on the website, usaprepares.com or rkpreppershows.com. Rick, I was thinking about CPUs. Have we hit the wall in terms of speed? And here's why I'm saying this. You can get, Intel has a processor. It's rated at 3 gigahertz. It's 8 cores. And you'll need a special motherboard. You'll need special cooling to keep this thing running. I guess I'm asking a theoretical question. Do you think that in terms of traditional digital computing, that space distance, transistor to transistor separation on the CPU is the problem? We just can't get them any closer, and that way, and because of that, we can't make these personal computers run any faster. You think that we've hit the limit and we've got to go to a new technology?
We're probably going to use water as our next computer chip. Yes, water is got a exclusion zones very similar to a forbidden zone in solid state physics, where you do your checksum errors and your registry, and it's 1,000,000 times more efficient. It is. That's 6 zeros, and so we're only just now realizing the level of possibilities using water.
Mm-hmm. And I was thinking that we had the 4 megahertz, and then the 8 megahertz, and then the 16 megahertz computers, and then 25, 33, 40, 50, 66. Those were megahertz. And then, we moved on to the 100 and the 200 and the 333 and kept going on. And now we're in the gigahertz, and we seem to hit the plateau where we just don't seem to be going any faster than 3 gigahertz. Now you can overclock the chip.
Yeah, we're starting to get into algorithms. That's an algorithm is the way you network information, and an algorithm originally was, and it was either or. It was it was yes or no, in or out, and that was binary. Right. And then we went to object-oriented, where we started grouping groups of information, like the implicate order that Bohm talked about, and we were able to have Actor 4.2, where it's squirrel language that allowed us to go down into things that were far more efficient in a binary system that would require maybe 5 megabytes and 12 files. We could compress that down into half a megabyte and 1 file, just by the way we grouped information. These are called algorithms, and that is the nature of where we're going now with supercomputers and the concept of what life is and what it is not, like mycorrhiza in the soil. Man is basically not human. He's a habitat. And you are basically able to change that human by the diets of what you're feeding, like sugar in the body. And that's one of the reasons why GMOs and that kind of thing represent serious unknowns in terms of how they're going to affect the entirety of the system itself.
We were talking about living longer, and then, of course, cancer comes into that equation. And as we live longer, we have more opportunity to have things go wrong, like electromagnetic radiation affecting our bodies, as well as chemicals, as well as radiation. And I'm wondering, Rick, if we'll and cancer, and are we ever going to cure cancer? And I'm wondering if we'll never cure cancer because it's a moving target. What do you think?
I don't know. I can say this. I don't know anybody that has cancer that didn't start with anger.
Really good point. Really good point. So, class, if you're angry, get over it. Like right now, we need you. We need you. Dr. Richard Allen Miller, thanks so much for being with us today.
My pleasure.
DocRam.com. Class, above all, honesty and integrity. What happens next is up to you. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
My name is Don Wiskin. In 1994, I lost my 62-year-old father to complications of bypass surgery. In 1977, my 44-year-old brother was found dead in his apartment. He suffered a heart attack. In January of 98, my mother had a stroke and passed away in her bed. 21 days later, my 53-year-old brother passed away on his arrival to the hospital. He waited too long. In June that same year, I almost joined them at 42. What did I do? I took a 7-herb formula I now call Extendivite, made from garlic, cayenne, bilberry, ginkgo biloba, hawthorn, milk thistle, and valerian. Based on German studies of natural medicine, Extendivite is designed to clear blocked arteries, clean the toxins from your blood, and improve your immune system. To get your Extendivite, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit our website, heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.